One. All right, welcome back, everybody, to another ITRAD podcast. This week will be our first playoff podcast that we've had. Show began this year, and we're already in the playoffs. And so, we got special guest Silicon Valley in the building tonight. Owner Simon Gao. His team's pretty hot right now. So let's get into it. So let's start off this week with a week in review. So we saw some pretty good matchups between some people. Unfortunately, my team was officially knocked out of the playoffs with a 130 to 120 loss to Can't Hide My Chub, another team that unfortunately missed out on playoffs. But let's get into our first playoff game now. Not playoff game, my bad. First playoff implicating game from last week. That being Silicon Valley versus Sheck West Fan Club. Now, Simon, you took an L even though Kareem Hunt was out. You got really lucky with that, and your team just kind of shit the bed. What went wrong there?
I'm not sure, but I knew three of my receivers sucked dick that week. Tyreek Hill putting up a whopping 6 points against the Oakland
Simon, can we
Raiders.
get some emotion from you? Like, geez, talking like a robot.
Six points from the Oakland Raiders defense. I was in awe.
Actually, you got 8.
It was 8.
It was 8. Yes.
Well, 8 points. So that's still under double digits. Not what I expect from a player like Tyreek. And from Stephon Diggs, he had an injured knee, which was like kind of, I expected him to do bad or like not as good. But under
Why
double
did you
digits.
start him though? Then if you, I mean, you had Hines that could have been a pretty good flex spot.
Option.
You could have benched Diggs and put Hill at the wide receiver 1 and put Hines on your bench. Not that that would have won you your game, but yeah, I just after coming off from 370 point wins, right, and then just puts up 94. I mean, pretty disappointing. But next we had Team Impala versus our own Brooklyn Treyway. Now, Brooklyn Treyway did take the dub here, but unfortunately also missed out on the playoffs.
That was our Super Bowl game, and we won that shit. Fucking looking for revenge after Kenny put up almost 300 points on us.
Drew Brees only had 7 points. Julio actually had 3.8 points. Julio only had 18 yards that game, but still leads the league in receiving by like over 200 yards. It's crazy.
I will be looking to win the losers bracket though. So
not if I have anything to say about that. I picked up Jalen Samuels, so we got a chance to do some damage here in the losers bracket. Playing for pride. We don't want to end up last place in the rankings and in the tournament. So, Castro, you did have, though, Robert Woods had a pretty good game, but, I mean, it just wasn't really playoff implicating for you, unfortunately. But we had Philly Special actually almost make it to the playoffs after beating Fiorepitas Tigers. Kevin had a pretty nice week. Then our last game, Suck My Dicka went on to score 172 and upset Team X. 172 to 120. Andrew Luck only had 9 points, something rare you see from Nick's team. Really, I mean, 120 points for him kind of is an underperformance. He's just a team that, has had really good waiver pickups this year. Honestly, that's just have been so good for him. But let's get into these playoffs now. So we have the official rankings now. No surprise, Team X took first place in the bracket. 8-5 season. We actually had 4 teams go 8-5, which was kind of impressive. How like close our league really stayed together. No one really. I mean, points wise, we had a couple teams do really good, but nobody really outshined anyone else, which makes it so hard to really see who's gonna win this league because it's just so close right now. Castro.
Yes. It's actually kind of upsetting because I kind of liked it last year better when people like Kenny were at the bottom and not at the top. But yeah. Honestly, this is gonna be a good playoffs. I don't know who's gonna win it all. It's actually kind of pretty even at this point.
Yeah. All the matchups really don't have a clear winner. I mean, besides that Eddie and Sonny game, I really don't see. I don't know if Simon or Diego's gonna win. Actually, let's talk about that game right now, Simon. Now you snuck into the playoffs with the 6th seed. Um, how are you feeling going into this week?
Pretty confident. I got my waiver pickup, Jeff Wilson Jr. to fill in that RB2 slot. You know, I dropped Carlos Hyde's ass because he's just pure garbage, putting up 2 points last week. You know, I think with Jeff Wilson Jr. we'll get a good shot at winning this round.
So gay. What team is he on again?
The 49ers.
49ers.
Oh,
Breda and Monster both got hurt now. So.
Bro, I can't believe Alfred Morris is just like fucking kicked to the curb.
He sucked really badly.
He should just be cut. Fucking Kareem Hunt would be amazing for that team right now.
Yeah, I mean they did sign Jerick McKinnon to that. I think it was a 4-year deal, right?
Oh yeah.
4-year deal. Now is Gordon's definitely out this week, Simon?
I think people are doubtful that he's coming back, and he's probably gonna come back next week.
Now,
week 15.
I don't really know how I feel about this matchup, just because you seem to struggle when Melvin Gordon wasn't starting for your team there. I feel like that's kind of been a common theme throughout the season for you, if I'm correct. Just looking at your schedule, I mean, all your losses. Was he playing in all those losses that you had?
Yeah.
You lost
for 1 week, or 2 weeks of the regular season.
Is that something that you really think is going to affect your team going into the playoffs? Like, are you worried about that?
I'm not worried. As long as you come back round 2, I'm fine.
I mean, you got Tyreek Hill versus a tough Baltimore defense, though, and I mean, it makes up for you got Juju against Oakland. You have Zeke versus Philly, which I don't know how to really feel about that matchup. What do you think, Kasha?
About the Simon matchup?
Yeah.
I think Simon will be easily winning this game against Diego. I really don't see Diego putting up a fight. Kenyon Drake has gotten lucky week after week, and I don't see it happening this week, even though they're playing in Miami and Tom Brady's terrible in Miami. But I still see this game being a blowout. Simon's going to advance.
I think what I said last week was that this matchup they had was going to come down to Juju Smith and Antonio Brown, whoever decided to go off there. I honestly think that's going to be the same type of thing that's going to happen this week. I mean, they play the Oakland defense, so I mean they both can eat, but I just see this one is going to have to come down to Antonio Brown, I think.
Wait, Simon, you really couldn't have gotten a better defense?
What?
You couldn't have gotten a better defense? You have the Chiefs defense right now.
Yeah.
You don't think anyone else is better right now?
No. No, I like him against Ravens.
Why?
Ravens have a young offense. Also, Lamar Jackson can't throw.
Lamar Jackson's also 3-0 though.
He still can't throw.
Yeah, but you wouldn't like the Lions against Arizona better?
No, I'm afraid of DJ. I'd rather take the chance with the Ravens than with the Cardinals.
Whatever you say.
That game could possibly be a somewhat shootout.
Whatever you say. If Lamar Jackson has the ball in his hands like for a good 30 minutes this game, then they can keep it low.
Yeah, but Lockett though has a kind of a tough matchup. I mean, I don't think Rhodes will be covering him.
Lockett.
But I think that Lockett has an opportunity to get some big volume, a lot of volume for this game. Because Rhodes is going to be on Baldwin, so I think Lockett's really going to thrive this game. Actually, if I'm being honest with you, LaShawn McCoy versus the Jets, another matchup I like, just because that's a division game, and I actually saw LaShawn McCoy this past weekend, and the dude, he still has it. He's still shifty. I mean, he took Kiko out from his juked him out of his socks a couple times. I mean, he's just a really good runner. Then you had that Washington D versus the Giants. Now, I know Colt McCoy is playing, or not playing, my bad. Mark Sanchez might be playing.
Mm-hmm.
But I honestly think that this Washington D could do damage again. I'm pretty sure the last time they played the Giants, they had 21 points. So that's something I think
Was that with Alex Smith or no?
that was with Alex Smith. They also were in New York though.
But were they? Was that when they went? Was that when they went like 3-0 or something, and then they like lost and they started shitting the bed?
It was week 8.
Oh, then never mind. I don't know. I think the Giants might win this game actually against the Redskins. I like how they were playing against the Bears last week. Maybe OBJ will have like a 60-yard touchdown pass again.
I don't know about that one, but
I don't know about that.
honestly though, who do you? I think I have a pretty good chance of winning out this loser bracket if we're being serious.
Chill. Well, you keep continuing with the winners bracket for now. We have Diego, Sonny versus Ed.
Yes, this Sonny versus Ed one is one I really see like just being my obvious pick. I mean, I just don't see how Eddie could lose this game. I really don't.
Yeah, I mean, apparently Ed made the joke just now that Leonard Fournette tore his ACL, but I don't think he did.
Simon, what do you think is gonna happen
against Eddie and Sonny?
Yeah.
Sonny, I've said this from the beginning of the season. Sonny's team is garbage, and he's gotten lucky. If you take a look at the points against, he has one of the lowest points against in the league, and he's top. He went 8-5, right?
Yeah.
He's 8-5 because of that. And if you look at his points for, also one of the lowest in the league. And let me look at his lineup. Who does he have in his lineup?
He's starting Phillip Rivers against Cincy, Lamar Miller versus Indiana. Indianapolis. OBJ versus Washington. Amari Cooper versus Philly. Vance McDonald versus Oakland. James White versus Miami. Rams defense versus Chicago and Gostkowski. Now, I mean, it's the thing with Sonny though is he's never looking like as a winner going into these games. It just kind of happens, and I just feel like that's the thing that's might catch us a little bit off guard. I mean, honestly, in my opinion, this is just a win-win situation for the league, just because these are two teams that I feel like a lot of people just want to see lose. So I think the outcome of this game is just a win-win for the whole league here, really.
To be honest, we should be rooting for Sonny.
Honestly, I am rooting for Sonny. I don't want to see Ed's team.
Because Ed's team is overpowered.
Anyone in your room,
Travis Kelce is a bad man.
Yeah, I don't really want to see. I don't want to see Ed's team go ahead. I don't want to see this kid go past this round, to be honest, or the next round.
I mean, it would be pretty nice to see Eddie exit early. I mean,
yeah, it's because he's bragging about various things.
Not to mention that this could be Sonny's revenge for getting trade raped earlier this season.
Oh, I forgot about that.
I think he traded Le'Veon Bell for Trey Burton. Okay, oh wait, hold on.
What the?
Intermission here, guys. Please leave your comments below on who is the cutest out of the three of us. So, shut up. You wouldn't win, Simon. You would not win that.
Simon, what do you know about this?
Supreme.
Yeah, but what is it though?
I don't fucking. It's a ball.
No, it's not. It's Jello, and it has.
It's what?
It's Jello.
No, it's not.
You can eat it.
Gas.
No, this is actually
Anyway, let's get back on topic
Dragon
here now.
Balls.
Now I have some questions for both of you guys. Honestly, in your opinion, we'll start off with Castro. Who do you think is going to come out on top in this league?
My vote for the best team in the 2018 ITRAD Fantasy.
Not even that, just who's gonna win. Who do you think is gonna win?
Yes. Sadly, I'm really gonna hate when this happens. I think Nick is gonna win, and I'd say I hate it. I hate it because he's new, and usually the new guys are not that good.
I mean, that year that Kenny first came into our league, he went to the championship.
Yeah, but I mean like non-ITRAD, non-ITRAD. Like Sonny Chad, Mike Merlot, people like that.
It's kind of a new.
But
Actually,
the
Mike
thing
won our
is,
league 2 years in a
the
row.
thing is, the thing is that I don't want to see Ed win, and I don't want to see Nick winning, and they're in the same bracket, and Sonny's not going to win it. So like,
Yeah.
one of them are probably going to win. So I kind of want Kenny to win it all, but
What is
even
it
then,
though
I don't
about
even
Nick's
want
team
Kenny.
like that you see?
That I see winning it all.
Yeah, like what? Why do you say so?
Because he has James Conner and Saquon Barkley pretty much, and that's pretty much all you need. Those
Isn't
people.
James Conner hurt though?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but by the time championships come, he's not gonna be.
I mean, he's still got a game before. I
He
mean,
also has, he also has Mark Ingram still, right?
I don't like Mark Ingram.
He's good. Like you have to predict when he's gonna go off, because when he does, and he goes off for at least like 25. So
I think he's only had 20 plus games.
Simon, now, no biased opinions here. Who do you think's gonna win this league?
Can I pick myself?
I mean, you can if that's not being biased. If you actually think you are going to win the league,
I don't know. I've been like looking at my schedules, and I kind of like it. With
who do you like?
so I think I have Russell Wilson playing the 49ers. See, the thing is, like, at my quarterback position, I have 3 quarterbacks, so I could rotate
Yeah,
any
who
3 of
you
them
have
based
30
on matchup.
quarterbacks? You said
Yeah,
who?
I have Deshaun, Mitch, and Russ.
What is the point in that? I don't.
Well, originally I traded for Watson because I didn't think Russ and Mitch were reliable, but then eventually, Deshaun Watson kind of fell off.
Yeah, he
hmm?
did fall off.
But
That's why.
I like his playoff schedule.
Who does he have in the playoffs?
Week 14 he plays Indianapolis. Probably not going to start him, but week 15 he
The
plays.
Colts shit the bed this week though.
Who do they play?
Shit the bed. They
Nah,
played the Jaguars and they
nah,
lost like
nah, nah,
six
nah, nah,
nothing,
nah,
right?
nah,
Or
nah. They
9-0.
went for it. They went for it on fourth down every single time they were in the red zone, and that's why they lost the game. If they kicked the field goals, they would have won.
Not a valid excuse.
How is that not a valid excuse?
Not
Because
really.
you lost though.
They
Like,
went for it like 3 times in a row.
all right, and whose fault is that?
All right, the Colts still beat the Dolphins.
All right, you
Next.
got lucky.
Thank you. Next. Thank you. Next. Thank you. Next. Thank you. Next.
Honestly, looking at the teams in this playoff bracket, I mean, I honestly think that it's going to come down to Ed or I I want to say Kenny, but I just feel like he's has so much luck on his side. He's gotten so lucky this year that I don't know if it's gonna fall off. You know what I mean? Like I would.
Bruh, all right, listen. This is my valid excuse, not my excuse, but like my valid reason. I think it's either gonna be Ed or Nick. Either way, I am not gonna be happy with the winner, unless it's Kenny or
I
somehow
honestly,
Simon.
I think I might be rooting for Kenny here. To be honest,
To be honest, I like
I feel
the
like
other bracket. I like seeds 2, 3, and 6.
I
Everyone
wouldn't
else,
mind
I don't
seeing
want to win.
Diego. I kind of want to see an underdog. Like
Yeah,
I want to see someone from that bracket. Definitely
yeah.
not Simon though. I don't want Simon to
So
win.
pretty much any of
What's up,
those
Mitch?
except and then the other bracket, none of them. Just
Yeah, that other side of the bracket. I mean, Nick, I wouldn't mind seeing Nick win just because he was taunted so badly at the beginning of the season for that
Wait.
team that he drafted.
yeah. Out of that three though, I would want to see Nick though, because Ed, I would just hate to see Ed's gay smirk on his face if he won, and Sonny, he would just be gay like forever.
Yeah, that's the last thing I want. To
Yeah,
happen.
it's definitely not Sonny though. If I would have to rank my who I want to win, it would be probably Kenny, Diego, Simon. Uh, no wait, yeah, Kenny, Diego, Simon, Nick, Sonny, then Ed. Anyone but Ed.
I think I just feel like especially this injury now with AJ Green. I mean, it didn't really do a lot of damage to Nick's roster. He still got lots of depth. But I just don't know about Nick with his playoff schedule. I feel like his playoff schedule just isn't ideal. I believe I was looking at it earlier and it just wasn't looking as good. I just feel like Kenny. I just had. Did you just? I'm not even gonna ask. What? Why are you? No, no, no. That's Cash, you know they make those water bottles in like vacuum. There's like rats and shit. Like,
Good,
around.
good.
The fuck?
Stop. You would still drink can of brisk iced tea, so
Wait, what the fuck did you chew?
a bottle cap.
What the?
Anyways, back to the
Anyway,
fantasy.
yeah, let's stop getting off topic now. I want to talk about these points for and points against rankings here to get down to really who kind of deserved getting to the playoffs, who didn't. I mean, my number one most undeserving team, I think it's probably a unilateral kind of decision here.
Unanimous.
Yeah, unanimous. Sorry, a little skied right now, but Sonny had 1,640 points for. Ranking him not at last, but kind of in the middle. But turnover to his points against 1606. I mean, that's just kind of. I mean, you look at all the playoff teams, and you have Nick, who had 1825, which actually I think led the points against.
Yes.
That's pretty impressive to have the number one seed after having the number one points against all season. Congratulations to Nick for that. I'm actually very impressed with that. Team Impala also got. No, I wouldn't say Kenny got lucky because he was second in points scored. But he did have a pretty low points against, but he kind of made up for it with that 1923. But I think Nick was definitely the most deserving team, and basically was my MVP of this season. If we're gonna talk about ownership, I think Nick did really good, and I just think he really deserves this ring.
No, this belt, because everyone loves the belt and not the ring for some reason.
No, yeah, belt's better.
It's retarded.
It is better. I'm sorry. Anyway, Castro, who was your MVP of the season?
MVP of the season is also going to be Nick because he didn't trade rape anyone, and he pretty much drafted his team to the top and waiver to his top. So he didn't even make any like bad trades. Only with like with Julian for like Carlos Hyde or something. I don't know.
Yeah, he was gonna trade me Julian Edelman for Jordan Reed or Aaron Jones.
Yeah, but you didn't do it, so you're dumb.
No, because I didn't want to give Jordan.
Anyway, Simon, who do you think deserves an MVP?
Take a look at the standings. Honestly, I'm gonna give it to Ed.
Wow.
I mean, he brought his team from the ashes, considering he traded for Le'Veon Bell midway and then lost his entire fucking team.
Yes,
and
but
then
do you
somehow
realize
he managed
why?
he managed to get back Todd Gurley, Mike Thomas.
Not somehow.
Tyler
Sonny got fucking lured in by Ed's knowledge of football and considered Ed to be this god knowing like everything. Like God is literally like texting Sonny and not Ed.
It's like when the Europeans first came to like the Americas and they thought that they were like fucking like gods because they had like this shiny armor and came down. We're just like,
yes, and Sonny was like, "Oh wait, here you go. Here's my team. I'm just gonna give it to you. You can just take it and do what you want with it." And then Ed just ran with it from there. Because Ed's team was so bad before that trade. Because he was so bad. He would be literally in last place probably with that team. But no, Sonny just had to give it to him. That's why I don't want Ed to win.
Now, another thing I'd like to add is I would definitely call from a player standpoint. My MVP this season, I think my MVP this season probably has to go to James Conner. I think you could see what he did as a fantasy waiver pickup to this team. I mean, anyone who picked him up in any league probably ended up going in like the top 3. You know what I mean? I just think just because he came like so out of nowhere. Castro?
MVP of the league?
Yeah, player-wise.
Yeah. honestly, MVP player of the league is probably either James Conner, like you said, or another one of Knicks players, Saquon Barkley, because no one expected him to be doing like
Yeah.
this hot. So if you picked him up realistically, like you should have in the draft late, like 9 or something, or like 10, then you would have got another back-to-back pick, and you probably would have got Melvin Gordon if you have like Melvin Gordon and Saquon Barkley, or Melvin Gordon and and Saquon and Julio Jones or something like that, you're probably really good right now. So
I know,
yeah,
probably really are. I know, probably really are.
probably really am studying for these finals, guys. Probably really gonna not fail it.
Um, Simon, do you have any players that?
Hmm. Yeah, I think on Nick's team, as you said, Saquon Barkley and James Conner. I think Saquon should have went like early mid or like even just mid. But I think another player that's an MVP could be Devontae Adams.
Yeah,
He's pretty solid. Like I didn't think he was like a top 5 receiver or anything until this season, but he's like been averaging what 20 points just about every game.
Now,
Yeah.
one more thing I want to do. I want to go through everyone's team and pick out their MVP more. You know what I mean, of their team.
Yeah.
I already mentioned Nick's James Conner. Now, when we come to Kenny's team, to me it's just obvious. I think Kamara would have to be his MVP.
I don't
I
know,
don't know
man.
about that one. I
Thielen,
don't know. Yeah,
Thielen.
Thielen had what 8 games, 100 yards.
He literally the reason why he's still breathing right now, like, is Thielen, because if he didn't have
Yeah.
Thielen, then he would have some
Yeah.
fucking scrub type like wide receiver and like someone by the likes of Chester Rogers in there or something like that. So I think it's Thielen because isn't he still number one or yeah he's still
Yeah,
number one.
he's still number one.
Not one game under 10 points. Not even one game under 12. Let's say. It's just crazy.
Yeah. Moving on to Check West fan club.
10
and
touchdowns too.
MVP this season, I think would have to be Antonio Brown, obviously. In my
I agree.
opinion, at least.
Yeah. I mean, that's like the only player that stands out on his team to me.
Him and Goff, I feel like did really good for him. Goff was kind of a QB that was like, you didn't have to take him early in the draft or anything. You know what I mean? Simon, you could have had the steal of the century with Mahomes in that draft if you just would have kept him.
I got Tyreek out of it. I like it.
I wanted him too, but someone had to say something in the Skype chat, and Simon just had to take him. So
Yes.
That actually happened.
No.
yes,
He was on my
that's-
radar before.
No. I
Yes.
picked Tom Brady. My plan was to trade Tom away right away and get Patrick Mahomes in my starting lineup.
Tom Brady's not having a good season.
I know. That's why I wanted to trade him away.
Who would you say was his MVP, Castro?
Shaq West.
Yeah.
I mean, he did trade for Antonio Brown. If I'm going for like a drafted MVP though, I'll just say his drafted MVP is obviously gonna be my man, the boxing champion of the world, Kareem Hunt, because he drafted him. He drafted him at 11, and he is one of the best running backs in the league. Sadly, if you guys didn't see the news, he has been released from the Kansas City Chiefs, and he's probably not going to be picked up this season, right? He can't be, right?
Nah, he can't.
Yeah, so that's sad. But if he had him right now, he'd probably be a championship contending team, which he still is. But I don't know. Kareem Hunt MVP for me because that's his draftee right there.
Next team we have infamous Fear Petus Tigers. Now,
Oh, God.
if I had to pick, I would probably say Odell was actually no. James White was
Yeah,
is
James
definitely
White.
his- James White definitely is MVP. Won him
So
a lot
annoying.
of games. A lot
So
of games
annoying.
actually.
That's actually that. Yeah, he literally won my game off that. Like, literally. Remember when he called it? He was like, "Oh, he was like James White's gonna score like 29 points, 30 points or something," and then he did it, and then he won the game off that. Like, against Ed, I think it was. I don't even know who it was against, but he did that too. And James White would be my MVP for him too. I don't even know where did he even take him. At 93rd.
Yeah, that's
My
crazy.
God.
Simon, agree?
Sonny's team? Yeah, probably James White. It
Now-
should have been.
Going on to Eddie's team, a lot of good players in there, but I think it's obvious Not obvious, in my opinion at least. Christian McCaffrey probably is MVP.
Run CMC. Run
Yeah.
run CMC.
50.7 points in week 12.
Now, Simon, when I come to your team, I probably have to go with Melvin Gordon. I think as the MVP of your team. What do you say?
I agree because he hasn't got me a game under 20. Actually, he's had one game under 20, but other than that, it's been like 20 plus. Pretty solid.
He's been a Castro.
I agree. Melvin Gordon is GOAT. So I mean, it's sad that he's like gone right now, but Melvin Gordon is gonna be is GOAT, and he's gonna be like probably like top 5 next year too.
Yeah. Coming down to Kevin's team, I feel like this is one of the hardest, but I might have to go Philip Lindsay, honestly, for him. I mean, he was a player that he just picked off the waivers and was really big for him this year. I mean, without him, I feel like he kind of would have done a lot worse than 6 and 7.
Yeah.
I don't know. Honestly, for me, I think it's DeAndre Hopkins because of that win against Ed. Remember that those like 3 spin moves into the first down in overtime. Yeah, I like DeAndre Hopkins because he's the what like he can be considered the best wide receiver in the league. It's up for debate, but you know.
Then we have Can't Hide My Chubb.
Annoying.
I feel like if I really have to be serious here, I gotta give his MVP to Nick Chubb. I mean, he was really one of the worst teams in the league every week, placing last in like everyone's rankings. Then all of a sudden, when he got Chubb, he kind of made a push for the playoffs, and he ended up 6 and 7.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know. It's either that or Patrick Mahomes, or even I don't know. He has a lot of good MVPs on his team. Even Eric Ebron might be up for debate. He's got 3 touchdowns in 1 game. Kenny Galladay too. Like he has all good players that probably would have went further if he had his team from the beginning.
Yeah.
But
Simon.
For him, I definitely have to say Mahomes. The man's just too good. He's what? He had two games under 20. The rest were 27 and above. Yeah.
Now, Cash, with your team,
I have an MVP in mind.
I honestly have to say Robert Woods for you.
Yes, I agree. I agree. Robert Woods has been my reliable GOAT throughout this entire year. I mean, like every single week in and week out, he would at least get me like some amount of points, and I could rely on him. I don't know if you remember against you, I needed Josh Reynolds and Robert Woods to get like 30 points combined.
I remember.
And Robert Woods, right off the bat, touchdown. It was so amazing. I love Robert Woods. I'm probably going to pick him up next year, to be honest. Everyone else shit the bed, like Jarvis Landry. So
now, when you come to my team, call me crazy, but my MVP this season on my team, I would have to go with Will Lutz. I mean, I really don't have anybody that Will Lutz had 15-point game, 16-point game, 16-point game, 11, 17, 12. I mean, when you have a kicker on your team, if my team was good, along with a kicker that scored 15 points that much, I could have won. Because when it comes down to it, I mean, the deciding factors in a lot of games are if your kicker goes off 15 plus points, you really have a good shot because that's a position that is going to be very thin in a week. You know what I mean? You're not going to have 2 teams playing where their kickers are off 15 points or something.
You do, Kyle. Yeah, I mean, your team is all traded players pretty much. So.
And no one worked either. I mean, unfortunately, I fell for the Marlon Mack hype after he had 2 30-point games.
Honestly, you can make the case for David Njoku.
He had a goose egg this year, though. I mean, honestly, Rip Christian.
He is a tight end.
I don't know why I haven't dropped it. I was very excited about him this season. Kind of let me down. Anyway, that's really all we got for today. All the playoff teams, wishing them good luck. Hope to see some nice games here. I know there's a game on right now.
It's 0-1 right now. Sonny's up.
7-0 right now. Jags are losing in the first quarter. But anything to say, Simon or Matt, before we log
off? Guys, I hope you have a good week watching some football games. We'll be back next week to tell you the outcomes of this game. Maybe we'll have a guest, a winner or loser, next week of the playoffs. See how they're feeling. I'm gonna be very excited to watch these games from home, not worrying about fantasy for once, and actually enjoying
Yeah,
my
honestly.
Colts, watching my Colts play. So yeah,
Simon, anything to say?
If I make it past this week, I will be in the finals. That's it.
All right, well, you heard it
Bold
here first,
prediction.
Brooks. You heard it here first. Um, and with that, I'm just gonna have to say good luck to everyone, and see you next week.
Peace.